You found it. It's the real news with your host, David Knight.
Give you some of the updates that we've had over the weekend from the Religion of Peace. We now see that the Paris Council, City Hall, has decided that they don't want to have a situation like they did in Germany where the Christmas market was attacked. They are going to cancel the Christmas market. Even though they have a special Ramadan party every year in Paris, they're going to now cancel the Christian market. This is coming from the Voice of Europe. They say the Champs-Élysées Christmas market in Paris has been canceled now by City Hall councilors. It's considered to be the city's main Christmas market. They have 15 million visitors every year. According to a spokesperson at City Hall, they say, we want to focus on offering visitors and Parisians more attractive and innovative events that will enhance the Champs-Élysées in a cultural and aesthetic dimension in keeping with this exceptional site. Whoa, this is we have a 6-year contract, said the person running the market. We have a 6-year contract with the city, which is being called into question after only 2 years. And he goes on to say, isn't it strange that a city that organizes special Ramadan parties every year can't organize a relatively simple Christmas market? Or is there something else going on? Voice of America says, Voice of Europe rather, says, should the words of cultural and aesthetic dimensions actually be interpreted as the market has to be more modern, more multicultural, and more cosmopolitan? Are these code words for less Christian? Understand, it's not just Christianity. As the Daily Mail points out, there was a mob of 20,000 Muslims that attacked a Hindu village. So these are Muslims attacking a Hindu village. Why? Because of a Facebook rumor that someone in that village, that Hindu village, had insulted the Prophet Muhammad. So you've got neighboring villages surrounding this Hindu village coming in and burning it to the ground. A Hindu village in Bangladesh, after a rumor spread that somebody had insulted the Prophet Muhammad on Facebook. By the time the police arrived, at least 30 homes had been burned down. Others had been looted and vandalized, and then there was a clash with the police, and rubber bullets were fired to control the crowds. So that got the Muslims who had attacked the Hindu village angry, and they began to protest the police protecting people from them burning their village down, based on a rumor on Facebook. And they blocked a major highway for 4 hours in protests. That's the Religion of Peace. And then in Poland, there was a celebration of its rebirth as an independent nation 99 years ago. And as it's portrayed in the media, the people who came out to celebrate the fact that they're Polish, to celebrate the fact that they're Christian, that makes them far-right nationalists. Isn't that awful? Yeah, they're out there saying that they're Christians and they're nationalists. They're going to keep their country. They're going to keep their culture. They're going to keep their religion. And so they have to be criticized, even though they have been wiped off the map for 123 years and then finally got their country back 99 years ago. You know, it's these countries like this. It's like Poland and Hungary and the Czech Republic and others who suffered under communist occupation. They suffered under the Nazis. They suffered under the Stalinists. And they know what it's like to lose their freedom. They know what it's like to lose their country. And they can see that this is happening. And they are the ones who, while the rest of Europe, who has had it so soft all these years, doesn't understand what is happening to them, they do. And they say, we're not going to allow this to happen. Now, as I said earlier, if you don't understand if you're not concerned about what's going on in Saudi Arabia, you're really not paying attention. And that's the title of a Free Thought Project article. They say if the Saudi situation doesn't worry you, you're not paying enough attention. And just to recap what has happened in the last week, we've had this coup that has happened there. We've had massive changes in domestic policy and strategy. And I've been pointing out for a couple of months the fact that the Saudis, who have been the basis of our fiat currency, the petrodollar, we went off the gold standard and we said, no, we're going to create a petrodollar. We're going to have Saudi Arabia is going to buy our debt, and they're going to denominate the sale of oil in U.S. dollars, and because of that, we're going to become the world's reserve currency. So this deal that we did with the Saudis, which gave them a great deal of control over us, that deal that we did under Nixon and Kissinger, the petrodollar, now it looks like they're starting to move away from that. They've made a lot of overtures to Russia, to China. They have had unprecedented investments now in Russia and arms sales from Russia. Always in the past, we said, as part of that deal, we will sell you arms, and now they're starting to move away. And you also see that Russia and China are aware of the fact that they want to undermine the American petrodollar. They're creating their own petrocurrencies. China has the petro yuan. Russia has said they are not going to accept payment at their ports except in their currency, in rubles. And so this move against the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency is really what's behind the Bitcoin issue. Yes, a lot of that is, you could say, the madness of crowds and tulip bulb type of mania in a bubble. But there's also the expectation, as we've heard from people like John McAfee, as we've heard from people like Gerald Celente, there's also the concern about the survival of the dollar. The dollar doesn't really have anything backing it up. And Russia is busily buying gold and backing up their currency. Here's a story from Russia Insider. Russia gobbles up even more gold and dumps more U.S. treasuries. So we see that Russia, China, Saudi Arabia are all making moves against the U.S. dollar, divesting themselves of U.S. dollars and getting involved in cryptocurrencies and in gold. And war is on the horizon. As you look at this situation, the massive amount of wealth and the number of people that have been arrested in Saudi Arabia as part of this purge, one of them is Prince Bandar. This is the guy who basically lived in Langley with the CIA. This is a guy, they used to call him Bandar Bush because he was so closely tied to the Bushes. This is a guy who got the bin Laden family out immediately after 9/11. And of course, the Bushes worked with him. Now this guy has been arrested. This could be very good information if the Saudis are doing this, if we could get some information from this individual about what he knows. I don't know if that's going to happen. Quite frankly, I don't trust the Saudis at all. We may hope that they're working with us and for us, but I've never seen any evidence of that.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States. Whenever you want to have a debate with a fake liberal that always resort to violence,
We need to wake people up.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.